What's going on, guys? What is happening? Been a long time. Been a long time since a live stream. And come on, come back. Might be coming back. There we go. How's everyone been? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so tonight, what it's about is massive scouting session. Now, we've obviously got champion cards dropping tomorrow, and for the first time, I've decided to get involved with champion. To be brutally honest, I've decided to have a little go, and that's kind of my next move. So I was going to talk about that in my next video, but hey, we're here now, right? We are here now. If you're in the chat, pop a little comment in there. Let me know that you guys are here, and then we're going to get into it because there's a lot of scouting to be done. What's going on, Sully? Welcome to the stream, mate. I've just had to drop my frames, so I'm hoping that everything's running smoothly. You can hear me okay. Video's not too bad. Yeah, but let's go. First of all, actually, I was meant to check this earlier. I've got a couple of teams this week. I've got this team here. Hugo Lloris is playing. All looks good. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that. We've got Lloris playing. When is that? Is that in the morning? That must be early hours. Tomorrow morning, which is good. Otamendi's already come in with a 70. Now, I could have played Hollingshead in there, but I don't know if he's going to be rested. And then we've got Evander, Acosta, and Benteke as well. So not a bad little team there in All Star. And then we've got this one here. Now I don't know if McCarthy's actually going to play, but if he does, I've got a 4-man LA Galaxy stack away to the Earthquakes, and then Evander in there as well. Another Evander with the captain's armband, and then this one here is just literally a throwaway. I know that Goalkeeper ain't going to play, but not too bad in terms of two little lineups going into All Star this weekend. See if we can pick up a cheeky little card. That would be very helpful because I am lacking a little bit in terms of funds. Now, I'll be very transparent. I did put in about 200 quid the other day to get me going on the new strategy, which I will do a full video on. But I'm sure that I'll touch upon a lot of the points tonight as well. What's going on, Blue Tomatoes? Welcome, mate. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, as I said, I don't know how many people are going to kind of be jumping on here because I know that my content's been a little bit lacking. So apologies in that, but I am trying to get back into it now. Last video, dropped a few days ago. If you haven't seen that, by the way, go check it out. Part 3, it was the trilogy of kind of asking advice from other content creators and that out there as to what they would do in my gallery, and then what I actually actioned, and then what happened, a few weeks later. So I enjoyed doing that. And it did actually pay off. So spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. And then I'm going to get some more videos going as well. So yeah, champ. In the video, I will talk about this, but let's just fucking be very transparent. There's no point of hiding things, right? So I'm dipping my toes into champ for the very first time. Now, I have owned champ players before. I had owned Grimaldo, Heredecki, and a few others, Ezekiel Palacios. And I was playing All-Star with those guys. And then I sold them all to go literally balls deep into MLS, which has, to be honest, paid off. But if I look back now, if I had those cards, then it would be, I'd be really set up for the Bundesliga. And at that time, I was actually selling them not to just go balls deep in the MLS, but it was actually to go into Cap 240 Super Areas. Obviously, a lot of people done. Well, the game's changed. I needed to change, and here we are. So, I'm still kept all of my Challenger cards as of yet. So the last video that I was talking about, where did I actually get up to in my last video? I think it was when I just bought or I sold GG, maybe. So let's go through my purchases and we can talk a little bit more about strategy as well. So made quite a few purchases. First one being This guy, Vicente Guaita. Now, I know this guy because obviously he was in the Premier League for quite a while. Now, as you can see here, he's dropped in price a little bit, or somebody's picked him up. Chris on Sorare, whoever that guy is, has decided to cash in on him. It's just because he's got a little bit of ligament damage at the moment and he's struggling with pre-season. However, the reason why I picked him up, if you look at those scores for a goalkeeper, and I'll come back to, like, I'm talking about Champ as a whole at the moment, right? But I'm going to drill down into the La Liga a little bit. Probably might as well explain it now. I was going backwards and forwards about what to do because my gallery is MLS focused. And with it being MLS focused, we know that come, the beginning of November, I ain't going to be able to play. So originally I was like, oh, should I go into limited and just go with a really, really top team in limited, like a Rodri, maybe a Kevin De Bruyne, a Heung-min Son, a Romero, and then probably it makes sense with a Spurs goalkeeper in there as well. And then have a couple of pieces around it and sort of just play that. But then I realised, well, that would be good, but there's going to be a lot of cards that are out there. A lot of people have got Spurs collections and things like that. And they will play the differential in there. They will buy a Rodri to put in there. And I was thinking, well, no, I ideally want to play in Rare because the in-season competitions in Rare, as we've seen, are really, really top in terms of some of the prices, in terms of some of the rewards. So, and then I was thinking, all right, so if I'm going to play Rare, which competition am I going to play? Now, as you know from my gallery, with the recent changes going to Champion, Challenger and Contender, that what you would look at is that all of my gallery is literally Challenger. So would it make sense to go in on Challenger a little bit more? What's going on, Angus? Rare Prem is the best. It is, but I can't really afford it to be competitive at the moment. But I am going to pick up a few Prem pieces. And, once I've actually finished this fucking monologue, if you're still with me by the end of it, I'll get to the point a little bit. But what kind of made sense if you was to look at my gallery was to probably pick up more Challenger cards, so that when the off season of the MLS, I'm still playing Challenger, I'm still winning cards there, and then going into the next one, like going into February and then playing some of the MLS cards. But what my plan is on that, I'm never really going to buy in-season Challenger cards unless I kind of win a few of them from the MLS. I don't want to play Holland and Belgium anymore. I played that for like the last couple of years where I had Unastor and the USG boys and things like that. And I thought, well, why not just keep with what I've got with the MLS? I've got strong enough cards in here. I could probably sell a couple of the pieces as well. But like when you come down into it, I've got some of the best cards. I've got two Evanders. I've got a Messi. I've got a Forsberg. I've got a Brooks Lennon, even though he's cheap, but still one of the best defenders there. I've got a Ricky Puig. I've got a Pansil. I've got a Rossi. I've got a Wagner. I've got an Insigne. I've got some of these players that... from an old season point of view, I've got Carlos Hill down here as well. I'm sure I have. Yeah, Hector Herrera, etc. I've got some of the best players in Challenger anyway. So if I'm not going to play in season, I can't play all of these guys. Like say if I was to pick up more 20 guys, like an Unastor, a Proper, whoever else is kind of big in that league, some of the Ajax boys, some of the PSV boys, I'm not going to really be able to cram all of those into 3 lineups. And I thought, well, I want to keep my MLS boys. I like playing with them. So let's just see what I can win between now and the end of that season. I've got some in-season cards in there as well. Some decent ones. I've got a Costa. I've got an Evander. I've got a Rusnek. I've got a Lloris. I've got etc. An Andre Blake in there that I can play as an old season whatever. I'll keep them. See what I can do. And then dive into Champ. Now, this is where it got interesting because then obviously with Champions, you've got Bundesliga, you've got La Liga and you've got the Prem. So naturally, I wanted to go into the Prem because that's what I know, that's what I watch on a weekly basis. Obviously a Spurs fan. And then I looked at some of the prices and I thought, well, if I'm going to really compete in the Prem, I need to lay down a lot of money. Now, when you look at, I always struggle to find this. I should really, really bookmark it. But let's just go to the Sorare page. because this is what really kind of done it for me. There was two things that done it for me, actually. So I don't know why I clicked on that. All right, Sorare. So let me find it. I want to go to the where the, is it this one? No. Bear with. Where they say that they're changing the game for the greater good. Your rules of a journey, blah, blah, blah. I think it's just before this. I should really fucking bookmark this. I do this every day pretty much. I think it's this one. No? If anyone's got the link to the one that what champ you looking for? Well, I'm mid-story. I'm mid-story, so I know effectively everything you need to know about Bundesliga. If you need anything, I'm nice. I might do. Share your rewards. Market update. I don't know. I can't get to it. I can't think of where it is. Did they release something today as well then? Maybe I can check that. Not that. Seasons updates. Learn more. It's on here somewhere. Anyway, I was looking at it, and the Prem prices, the Prem prices, like where you win, was not so much different from the La Liga and the Bundesliga. Then I put out a poll on Twitter. Excuse me, coughing down the mic. My bad. I put out this poll. Where's your focus? And as you can see there, over half of the people, 125 votes, people were saying the Prem. Now, granted, it's where some of the best cards are, some of the best rewards. You know, it's getting more and more popular. People watch it. You want to play with the Prem cards, etc. But I'm kind of looking more so on return of investment at the moment, because as we know, prices have tanked a little bit, and I want to claw back to get where I was before, and in the same time enjoying the game. So this really surprised me that La Liga was only 16% of those 125 results. And even so, you know, Bundesliga, I know you've got the Bayern boys, so a lot of people are going to be focusing on that. And to Jonathan, to like your point, you might have some of those Bayern boys or whatever. But it made me start looking at the La Liga players. Not only that, I started looking at the Serie A players and the French Ligue 1 players, because I think that Champion is going to be a tiny bit less competitive now, with more cards coming into the game. With more cards coming into the game. Maybe that won't be true, but if there's three more big competitions with the Prem, with La Liga, and with Bundesliga, and let's have it right, that's pretty much where the best cards are, right? People are going to be playing those competitions over Champion. So I thought, well, why not spend a little bit of money, pick up some bargains in Ligue 1, pick up some bargains in Serie A, pick up some of the players that I kind of like, and go from there. And that's where it started, really. I was going through the top 5 leagues, and I was looking at some of the underrated or underpriced, what I thought was undervalued cards. So this is where I stumbled across him. Because when you look at him, so in La Liga, he plays for Celta Vigo. So when you look at him, surprising I don't have many Bayern boys. You will be surprised some of the scorers for the lower teams. Well, I've picked up one Bundesliga player, so spoiler alert on that. Jonathan, I've got one, and it's a bit of a big boy actually in terms of like a forward. In that league, or I feel is a little bit underpriced. What's going on, Jack, mate? Welcome to the screen. La Liga is a great shout. Top rewards too with Bellingham, Mbappe. Well, exactly. Because when you look at the best players that you'd want to win, now, again, previously in the past, I've won a Bellingham, right? And so that was when prices were sort of mental. You know, Carlos Hill was like 0.7. Bellingham, I think I sold for like 0.99 in the end, basically an ETH. And then it's a different game, so I can't look back on that. But Bellingham's in there, Mbappe's in there, Vinny Jr.'s in there. You know, you've got some top players in there, and also from a cash point of view. And the Liga, what I was looking at is, yes, the Barca boys smash, the Real Madrid boys smash, but when they don't, it's quite spread, and you can pick up some good players. To be fair, supply is a big thing for the Prem. Bundesliga, for example, has been on Sorare for a long time. Yeah, you're right there. There's going to be more Bundesliga cards than there are Prem. With Topsoda, it's 44 super rares and 400 rares compared to Cristian Romero with 14 super rares and 170 rares. Yeah, you spot on. Absolutely, Jonathan. I call you Jonathan because your name is Jonathan.b, but I don't know if you like John. I don't know. Anyway, so I come into here and I wanted to look at the starting goalkeepers for La Liga and Bundesliga, because the Prem starting goalkeepers are a little bit expensive for where I am right now in terms of so rare. Obviously with MLS and stuff, I've got the best players out there, but I can't really just go straight in and just picking up some of the best Premier League players. But when you look at some of these, they're quite high in price. You know, I mean, a David Raya, his floor price at the moment is 0.3. Obviously, you're not going to pick him up for that. But even a Pickford, 0.15. You've got a Martinez. Him and Vicario would be the two goalkeepers that I'd want to pick up. Obviously, one from a Spurs fan, but two, Martinez has got Europe and he plays for Argentina. So he would be somebody that I'll pick up on. And that's a lot of money, considering there's other goalkeepers out there that if I was going to play champ or specifically in Bundesliga or specifically in Liga, I could pick up probably 4 goalkeepers for that price. So the rewards from an in-season point of view in terms of cash, and even from a classic point of view, are very, very similar. Now, the price of the cards might be a little bit different, but I have to appreciate where I am in terms of my champ Europe journey. Right, and I think that's something that I've made crystal clear in my head so far, is that when I play my MLS boys, I actually am expecting to win something. I've got the best defender in the game. I've got some of the not in the game, in the MLS by an absolute country mile. I've got some of the best goalkeepers when they're playing at home, and I've got most of the best midfielders, along with a Messi, a Pencil, and an Insigne kind of up top. So you're not going to get too much better than that. So I expect to win. Now with Champ, I'm actually enjoying Sorare again in terms of not actually just going out there, lumping loads of money in and buying the best players. I'm actually enjoying going through this process now and scouting some of the people that are a little bit underpriced, but I know that are good enough to still win rewards, keep me ticking over so that I can actually build up again. And I am really enjoying it. So when you look at somebody like, let's take Jordan Pickford, right? Let's look at his... so a lot of green scores in there, but let's just go with Everton. And I'd pretty much guarantee that a lot of these, towards the back of the season was clean sheets. Probably before that, it was a lot of AA on top as well. A 26, a 23 there, a 16. Because they obviously used to face a lot of shots. Now, I'm not saying Pickford's bad, because he's not. He plays for England as well. And obviously he's a good shot stopper. And Sean Dyche has really tightened up the Everton defence. But when you compare something, I don't know if it's going to ring true here, but when you compare this to this, it's not too dissimilar. I mean, some people might disagree, but it's not too dissimilar. And considering that this guy is 0.2 and Pickford was 0.15 or whatever it is, I get it. Different competitions, you've got to pay the money. I know all of that. But again, where I am at the moment, I can't afford to pay that. So I picked him up because of this form. And I also picked up today, I picked up the second goalkeeper was this guy. Because Guaita is struggling a little bit from a little bit of ligament damage. But he's not ruled out. He's not having surgery or anything like that. But then this guy as well, when he plays, you can see there that, let me just go to all. Celta Vigo, like he's still capable of a couple of green scores in there. And again, I'm not paying a lot of money, so I don't expect a clean sheet week in and week out. And what I've got to realise is as well that if I'm playing this goalkeeper or this lineup in a La Liga Classic, that I'm going to have 3 teams and I'm going to be starting in Division 3 and 4. a clean sheet is a clean sheet, and it's good enough to kind of build a foundation on, right, with a goalkeeper in the lower divisions. Now, the top ones, yeah, we need to probably think about that. We probably need an Oblak or a Ter Stegen or whatever in terms of Division 1. But I can still win some rewards from this type of performance is what I'm trying to get at. So I brought both of those goalkeepers in, and they've got a really good fixture, actually, first game of the season. So I'm targeting that. Now, moving away from La Liga, so this is where my kind of head's in two places at the moment, or three places. Do I play in classic Bundesliga, classic La Liga, and Champ, or do I just focus all in one area? And this is where my head was at, was like more, well, let's just play Champ. Let's just get Champ players. Now, as you know, or as a lot of people know, I am a Spurs fan, and I think that Porro is potentially one of the best defenders in the Premier League. Now, it's probably not, I think it's kind of fact, right? I'm sure that if we go in here and then go into the last 7, he's probably going to be appearing somewhere near the top-ish. No, you don't want to do that. From a decisive point of view, I'm sure he does. No? Well, ignore everything that I've just said, but I'm sure that he was. All right, he's 20th. Fucking hell. Didn't realise he was that far down. Oh, he's second in terms of decisive for the L40. That's where I was going with it, right? And yeah, but anyway, he played for my team. We've got Europe this season, so I think that he's going to dip his toes in some of those games. It might be Jed Spence, I don't know, who's playing right back, but he's got these peaks of these 90 pluses. Now, on a given week when he's playing, potentially at home to Everton or home to a West Ham or home to an Ipswich, Fulham, etc., away to Bournemouth, he could pop up with some big scores. And for that price, I didn't actually think it was too bad what I paid for him, which was 0.027. Now, I've actually started converting and looking at this more so in pounds than I have anything else, which is interesting because I definitely started in ETH and it's kind of moved more to pounds. But yeah, I've picked him up. So I think that he's a good option if I'm going to be playing a Champ Europe team. Now, I don't know if he's going to stick around for long term because at the moment I am leaning again more towards the La Liga competition. Now, moving it on, let's get going. Another Celta Vigo player, a 36-year-old Iago Aspas. Now, the reason why I've got this guy, look at all of those dark green scores. Still at 36, still pretty much playing 90 minutes, get week in and week out. He takes all of their set pieces. If I go into here, he takes penalties, free kicks, or free kick scorers. That's interesting. Why he's not appearing on there. He takes their corners, free kick assists. He's 36 years of age and he's still got 15 AA over the last 15. You've picked up an Aspas as well this week. Yeah. Well, Jack, I know we was kind of speaking. I think our shortlist on some of these players was actually very, very similar if we was to actually compare. But yeah, I think he's crazily sort of underpriced for what he's going to potentially do again this season. And again, I've got to realise where I'm at. I'm not going to go out there and pick up a Griezmann straight away. I've held Griezmann and stuff in the past, but I'm not in a position to do so because my power is kind of elsewhere in the gallery. So picking up somebody like an Aspas when he can deliver these sort of things, I mean, back-to-back hundreds there, pretty much. I think that I like it. I like it a lot. So Aspas is in as well. So we've got 2 goalkeepers. We've got Porro. We've got Aspas. Well, this is the other one, John, that I was talking about earlier. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. Oh, that's cool. Is Kramaric. So I've owned it. I don't know if it goes back this far. Let's have a look. I've owned Kramaric before a couple of times. Yeah, I sold him back here. Oh, no, I bought him back there. And I think I sold him a little bit after that for a little loss, something like that. But it might have been in a trade. And then I've managed to get him back. Because again, similar to Aspas, he's a forward card. He's playing in Europe this season. He plays for his country still. He takes all of their set pieces, and from as a forward, he's AA. He's bang on. A 33 AA, a 14, a 37, an 11, a 10. I'd still take that. A 22, a 33, a 24, 7. Like, you ain't going to get much better than that. I'll be interested to see actually which forwards in the game have got a better AA than him. Now, obviously, there's going to be some, but let's just have a look in terms of, let's just go. Oh, wrong way. He's got to be up there, surely. 19th. But he's got a lot better decisives than everybody above him up until when you get into the top 8. And again, for that price, I looked at it and I just thought, well, if I'm playing Porro, if I'm playing a Kramaric, like that's a decent foundation for a champ Euro team, right? Yeah, he's decent up there with Marvin Duksh. Yeah, I've just butchered his name, by the way, Duksh. But an AA forward, yeah, I've held him before in the past as well. When I had a little dabble into the Bundesliga with Grimaldo and all of those folks, like about a year ago. But good fixtures to start with as well. But yeah, if we look at all of his, again, with Aspas, similar, look how many dark green scores there are. Sinde could be a surprise in the Bundesliga. I don't actually know who that guy is. So let's have a look for Augsburg. Looks like he's lacking a bit in the AA, but obviously he's moving to that league. Could be a good watch. So moving on, then I wanted to pick up another goalkeeper from La Liga. So I picked up Jasper Cillessen. So obviously he's just moved to La Liga for Las Palmas. Now, there's a big, when I come on to the next couple of players that I want to talk about and that I've actually brought in, they're from Real Betis. Now, there's a big kind of transfer saga and stuff going on at the moment because Valles wants to move to Betis. And if he goes, then Cillessen is going to become the number one. And I paid basically the same that I paid for... let me just go in here and just switch to pounds. I paid 50 quid for this guy. For another starting goalkeeper. I paid 50 quid for Guaita. So going back to my example earlier, I've now got potentially 2 starting goalkeepers for that price. Some people are going to turn around and say yes, but the other ones are going to be more high quality, etc. He can still keep clean sheets, and that's all I'm really worried about. That's all I'm focused on, considering where I am at in my gallery. So I think he's going to potentially be number one anyway, even if Valles does stay, because he's not been playing at any of the pre-seasons at the moment. And I do think that he's trying to force a move away. Now, that all depends on whether... what's his name? What's the guy's name? It's not him. It is Rui Silva. Rui Silva wants to move... But Betis are not going to buy the Valles until Rui Silva's moved on. So it's kind of a waiting game there. But if he does move to Betis, I might pick him up because, moving on from Cillessen, by the way, because I've picked up a couple of Betis players. I've got Fekir. I've got the forward card for Fekir. As we know, Fekir used to be a bit of a baller back here with a lot of these green scores. Now, let me switch this to forward. And that's just obviously increased some of that stuff, right? Now, Betis has got Europe as well. This season. Now, injury worry, I know, but he did manage to keep fit at the end of last season. I'm just interested to see whether he plays almost week in and week out. He's had this stint in there as well. I thought Fekir was maybe moving on. Well, I thought that as well, but he's still been playing some of the pre-season games. He played against Liverpool and that the other day. And for the price that I've just picked him up at, again, now, it's all relative, right? Because I keep saying, it's the price that I've picked him up at. Now, I know that the game isn't what it used to be. So, you know, £23 now that I've just paid for him might have been more like £200, I don't know, a year ago. So I get that as well. But this is where I'm looking at the prices thinking, well, do you know what? He might not be too bad if he stays there, if he gets fit again, especially from a forward card. It gives me an option. So I just picked him up. I just went in on it. And then I also went in on Adrian, just signed from Liverpool. And again, there's an issue at the moment with the goalkeeper, right? If Rui Silva doesn't go anywhere, does Adrian start? Now, because they're in Europe, he could nick a couple of games in Europe as well. He's a bit of a legend there. And I picked him up for, what did I get him for? £13. And more so, I was kind of looking at a little bit of collection bonus because the main one that I wanted to talk about from Betis was Isco. I've picked up Isco. And he had a really good season at Betis last year. You can see there quite a few dark green scores. Again, he takes most of their set pieces. He is their kind of playmaker. He's injured at the moment, but he's due to be back in basically like a week or so. He's been training off to the side. And again, they've got Europe as well. And he would have actually made the Spain squad. Not that he's going to be playing, I don't think, but he would have made the Spain squad for the Euros. And if he can get in that Spain squad, it's an extra utility. Now, when you look at La Liga and you go to, and there's one more player that I want to talk about that I ended up buying before we kind of get into the scouting of this, because I do want to pick up some more players. But when we look at the midfielders in here, what you'll see is, let's go L40, yeah, is that he was fifth in terms of net decisives. He was third in terms of his SO5 averages. He was third in terms of goals scored. Obviously, Bellingham fucking smashed that out of the park. Assists, was he on there? Not so much. He got 5. So joint, sixth or something like that. He takes penalties, 2 out of 2. And he's taken 127 corners. Only second to Gundogan. He's a pretty good midfielder. Now, let's go to player rankings. And let's go to La Liga, and let's go midfield, and let's just go filter. You'll see there that he's fourth. Now, if we go to L40, he's second only to Bellingham. And I picked him up for an all right price as well, from what I consider from like what he's going to actually return for me, £84. I wouldn't even mind another one, to be quite honest. So yeah, I'm really happy with picking up Isco actually. I am happy because when you look at this, there's not many like outstanding midfielders in La Liga. Yes, you've got Bellingham. Yes, you've got Gundogan, and I really want a Gundogan as well. I'm waiting for one to come up, see what I can do. You've got a few surprises in there. Like, I wouldn't say that Valverde is amazing. Like, if you just take Real Madrid, and let's just go La Liga as well. Like, yeah, there's a few spikes in there, but comparing that to Isco, there's not too much difference, and I'd rather Isco being on a lot of set pieces. So who else is there? You've got Danny Pereira's lost a lot of his set pieces, but I still should be okay. This guy is a bit surprising. Alex Baina. He takes a lot of their set pieces, quite a few green scores in there. But, you know, when you look at the MLS, you could just literally go through Acosta, Carlos Hill, Hector Herrera. You know, we also have got Evander, Ricky Puig. Like, the list kind of goes on and on and on. When you come to the MLS, there's not many. I don't think. Not many in there. So, yeah, Isco comes in. So a little bit of a Celta, Vigo and Real Betis kind of collection going on, because the last player that I've picked up today was Oscar Miguiza. Now, he, I think he originally started off at Barcelona. But if we take Celta Vigo and we just go through the last year, a few green scores in there, but he takes. Does he take some of their set pieces if Aspas ain't playing? I think he does. He gets involved a little bit, not too much. But from Celta Vigo point of view, from a little collection, I thought it was just worth picking him up as a little stack. Oscar Maguiza. Braz Mendes. Yeah, he's on my list. So I'll show you my short list and stuff at the moment. Just going back into some of the chat. John, you said that the hidden one for you is Carrazor in the Bundesliga, Stuttgart. I've looked at a lot of Stuttgart players as well. What was the reasoning? He averages 66 at home last season. He's only 20 quid. Is he defender? No, midfielder. Okay. Yeah, he has some solid scores in there, doesn't he? Decent AA if he gets a little assist or something on top of that. Yeah, the Pepelu shout. He's on the list as well for sure. So Blue Tomatoes, my conclusion, good moves in general. My cons, unnecessary premium for Porro, age of the goalkeepers, but for their price it's all right. Yeah, for the goalkeepers, like I hear you on that, because the next kind of goalkeepers that I did have was literally triple, quadruple their price, and I'm just not willing to pay that at the moment. I think what I've learned playing Sorare is a goalkeeper's a goalkeeper. If they start and they're an okay-ish goalkeeper at home, I'm fine with it. I used to pay, I think I paid 1.2 ETH for Unistal once, and he was in my gallery for a long time. He won a lot of stuff for me, but that is a lot to spend on a goalkeeper, when really somebody who might keep 3 or 4 less clean sheets a season, who's literally half the price. I just want a playing goalkeeper who's not shit, to be honest, and age doesn't kind of bother me if they're going to play there all year. I think that you're absolutely spot on, and I've been toying about this today, this Porro pickup and the Kramaric pickup as well, because originally, like when I started this and I picked up Greater, and obviously he was the next one, Porro was the next one on the list, I was thinking, well, I'll just play 3 teams in Champ and I'll pick up some bargains from Syria and Ligue 1, and I still might do that. I don't know yet, but that's why he was the second purchase there. I think that if I was to have made the Guita, Aspas, Isco, and Silicon sort of purchases all first, I probably would have stuck with La Liga, to be quite honest. So I don't know whether I'm going to sell him. I don't know if I'm going to sell Kramaric or whether I'm going to build a little bit more out in the Bundesliga, but it's definitely not going to go into the Prem. The only other card in the Prem, that I would actually pick up is Munoz from a defender's point of view, because he's playing under a manager, so the Crystal Palace guy, right? So before I come onto my shortlist and we go through some of that stuff, he's playing for a manager who loves wingbacks. Fakir and Isco fight for the same spot? No, not necessarily. They do play. One does play out wide a little bit as well. So yeah, they chop and change. But it was more so the pickup around Fakir if he plays Europe football as well from a forward standpoint. So for that price, I was just like, you know what? Let's see what happens. Because they've got Fornals and they've got Ayoze Perez as well. And I was thinking about picking them up and having a little stack, to be quite honest. But yeah, with Munoz, he's a flying wing back, a right back. I owned him for a long time when he was in the Belgium league, and this is where he comes into kind of his own, because he can get monster AAs, a 51 AA in there, but he's the only one that I'd think about picking up from the Prem again. Now midfielders in the Prem, you've got like Ward-Prowse and you've got a couple of others that are pretty cheap, but again I'm competing with people who are putting a lot into the Prem, and I think that that if I was to even think about putting a team together in the Prem, my goalkeeper would be Jose Sarr, who's 0.6. I probably can get him a little bit less than that, but he ain't a great goalkeeper in the Prem. and I just think that I'll be swimming against the tide too much. So yeah, he would be the only one that I'll pick up from a champ position, I think. Mitchell was underpriced a few weeks ago, maybe the cheaper alternative to Munoz. Yeah, I think that he will pick up as well, especially if he's playing on that left wing back. If you remember that manager who he had, I forget his name, but you had like Kostic and the other flying right back, and I can't remember who it was. Can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Glasner, that's his name. Yeah. So yeah, I think he's going to have a really, really good season. Anyway, moving back to West Ham players won't be so good. Do you not think, Manito? No? Because a kind of a straightforward stack there would be Bowen and Ward-Prowse, wouldn't it, from a forward, and probably from more like a budget point of view. But let's look at... I've been building some of my watch lists over the last couple of evenings, and I've got a few. I've got my Prem one. So we're talking about Prem. Let's have a look at it. So this was kind of like my budget Prem players who I think that are still okay. Luis Diaz, we know about him. Hudson-Odoi, he gets decent AA for Forest, and you could stack him with a Morgan Gibbs-White. That wouldn't set you back too much, 0.05 probably. You got Embremo as well, who's surprisingly quite good. With Tony probably on his way out, he's going to be more of a focus in there. He gets decent AA for them, and he's probably going to be on their penalties after he leaves. Got Kamada in there. So again, if I was to pick up Munoz, I would have probably picked up Kamada as well. Now, the only risk with him is he going to play with Sarr coming into Palace and with Eze already there, considering that he's going to be playing like 5 at the back, or a 3-5-2 if you want to call it that, or a 1-1 or whatever. I don't know if he's going to be starting week in and week out, but he was on my list because I think that he can deliver for sure. You've got Luke Shaw there. I think he'll have a good season for that price. Andy Robertson, you know what you're going to get out of him, so that would have been a stack with Luis Diaz. You've got Munoz in there. And then you're coming into my 3 goalkeepers down here with Jose Sarr, Areola, who should be their number one. And if he's not, Fabianski is insanely cheap. So you would have just naturally pick up both. But there are risks with Areola at the moment, going to Saudi. Now, because they're not signing Edison, he is on the list for that team, whatever that team is, and another team out there as well. And then you've got Dean Henderson, which would make sense to stack with the with Munoz as well. But you look at his price, like it's still, it's 4 times the price that I paid for Guaita. And I could have Guaita, I could have Gundogan, and I could have, I don't know, another one that's like 0.01 or something, like Christensen, Anders Christensen. I could have those 3 players for that price, and I just think I'd rather that at the moment, until I build up some money. And then this list in here, Trippier, we know that he's more than likely going to Saudi now. There was a photo of him the other day on Instagram with there was a photograph with him on Instagram with the head of scouting or something like that from one of the Saudi clubs, saying good meeting or something. So I would have thought that he goes. You've got Eze in there going on that Crystal Palace kind of stack. And then you've got Porro, which I've already picked up. So that would have been the people that I pick up from a Prem standpoint. And it just doesn't excite me. I think that you could nick a couple of rewards. Don't get me wrong. If you're playing a Dean Henderson, a Munoz, a Porro, an Eze, and a Diaz, like that could do something. But I don't know. I just don't think it's good enough for the price that you'd have to pay, especially for the goalkeepers. I don't know what you boys think, but that was my list anyway. I'm sure that I missed a couple of players in there. And then I created one where I was talking about Champ as a whole, right? And this is not including some of the La Liga boys. So this was just people that was outside of La Liga, or potentially the Prem, I think it was. Yeah, outside the Liga and the Prem. So let's start from the bottom. So I won't talk about the goalkeepers because that's in a different watch list. But Lookman was another one that fits the bill from like a really good AA forward and for the price. His last sales price was, that's jumped up. Yeah, excuse me. Jumped up a little bit, but then I suppose this person was selling it on the cheap anyway. Like £100 for somebody who has European football, takes some of their set pieces, plays for a good side out there, gets good AA and gets good decisives. So he was on the list, thinking that if I was to play champ, because he's a good enough forward to, you know, if he's scoring mid-80s on a fairly regular basis, that's decent for me for a forward. Then I had Danilo, so sticking with Syria at the moment. Danilo is a really good scorer, consistent. Now I don't know what Juve is going to be like, but this year, but you can tell from a little bit, you know, it is a few game weeks ago, but he's capable of these really high scores. Again, plays like, well, international football and whatnot. So Danilo was in there. Amiri, so coming into Bundesliga now as well. He was somebody who's really caught my eye. So if I pick up a German goalkeeper, I think that this guy would probably be my midfielder to pair with like Kramaric. I know it's different teams, but in terms of a Bundesliga midfielder, because for the price, I think that he ticks a lot of boxes. He takes all of their set pieces. He's clearly kind of their main man. He gets good AA and nicks a decisive here and there. I really like it. I mean, John, if you're still in the chat, like, let me know what you think. If you're the kind of Bundesliga expert or you follow that league, what you think of this guy. If I remember rightly, he come from Bayer Leverkusen, right? Yeah, where he couldn't get a gig. Oh, you've given me. I think my internet's rebooting or something crazy. So bear with me. I should be back any second. But yeah, he's a poor man's Rodri. I think he can do it all, really. He can do it all. I should be back, Blue Tomatoes. Am I back? Just let me know in the chat. Yeah, back. I don't know why that does that. I'm actually hardwired into my internet as well, so I don't know if there's a fault with my line or some bullshit. But yeah, poor man's Rodri, and I think that he will do better at Bayern. But for the price, I would still rather Amiri, to be honest. But he was on the watch list. Then moving into Bundesliga is all about attacking midfielders and forwards. It's a goal fest. It's similar with the MLS. You know, that's why there's so many of them. That's why I love the MLS. You've got Palenius, Super 8. I think he'd be really, really good at Bayern. Really, really good. Junior Ito. So this is where I was now looking at the French Ligue 1, and as you can see, my probably filter was champion forwards with decent AA who take set pieces, and this guy ticks all of those boxes. He gets decent AA. What is at? He's over the last year, his AA is 14. I wonder what it is in his L40. Still AA is 14. And please stop streaming. You're giving my transfer targets away. There's plenty of them out there, mate. There's only going to be more come tomorrow as well, when people panic and want to sell their classic cards to pick up some in-season. So don't worry. And welcome to the stream, Gaza. Sitting there quietly, mate. A good stack with him. Now, I didn't actually add him to the list because I was a little bit uncertain on Ito because I didn't know where I was going to go. I would immediately go Teddy Tuma because he shares sets with him, and he's capable of these kind of high spikes as well. But again, from a Champ Europe point of view, are they going to do the business week in and week out? No. And maybe I've just got to get my head around that nobody I buy is going to be able to do that. And maybe I'm just used to, you know, the likes of Kai Wagner and Hector Herrera and things like that. And I've got to get my head around that. But he was on the list. Then I'm going to skip over goalkeepers. Jonathan Klaas. So you can see here that I've kind of went on a little bit of a mad one in terms of the French Ligue 1. So he's just transferred to Nice. And he is very, very capable of 100. Very, very capable. So he's transferred to Nice, and I think that I'm pretty sure that they're playing in Europe as well. And he gets a gig for France every now and again. which was, he did go to the Euros, but he does play there in some of the friendlies and stuff. Not friendlies. Sure, he played here against Gibraltar, got 100, played out at a little gig against Greece as well. But he's very, very capable of taking some of their sets as well. So he was on the list for the price. Again, looking at a champ defender. And also, then I had a little thing for Monaco, and this went through my head actually about doing a Monaco stack, because the goalkeeper is very good. This guy scores very good at Monaco, or he had a really good kind of end here. But when you look at Monaco and you look at, that was their last game of the season, right? They've got some players who can smash. Salisi even their right back does well. The goalkeeper does very, very, very well. Ben Yedder's leaving. Fafana's gone, I think, but Minamino's in there as well. And I was thinking maybe a little Monaco stack. They play Champions League football, so he was on there. But then I also was looking at Golovin as well. Golovin, been there a long, long time. And I'm sure that everybody knows who this guy is. Still gets the green scores, taking their set pieces, is their main man. I think he's switched to number 10 now that Ben Yedder's gone as well. So I was thinking about a bit of a Monaco stack, and for the price he was okay. Then I had Demirovic. Now, what's quite funny actually, I don't think it's going to show. But when I first come onto the platform, I wonder if it does show this. I want to go limited. Does it go this far back? Look at that. January 29th, 2002. He was like the third or fourth card that I ever picked up. Set the frame rate to 30. Hold on, let me just change that. Stream output. I don't know if the stream's all right or not. It was telling me to switch stream rate or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was one of the first ever cards I bought. So now he's just transferred to Stuttgart. I think he's Undav's replacement. Because they can't get that one over the line. And I think that he's going to do okay there. He scores goals. Does score goals. His AA is lacking a little bit. He's going to be playing European football next year. I don't mind him, but for that price, I would rather a Kramaric than him. But he's still a good player. On that list. I'm going to skip over the goalkeepers, as I've said, and then there was just a few others on the list from Serie A that I was looking at, but the main one from Bundesliga and the last one was bear with. I don't know. David Raum. He's capable of just fucking smashing it, really, isn't he? As well, you can see from those scores. Plays for Germany, gets a gig there, and yeah, I think that he'll have another really, really good season. But for the price, 0.03, he's only a little bit more expensive than Porro. And again, if we go back to, if I sold Porro and I got this guy in, and then I've got Amiri in, and then I've got Kramaric, there's three top Bundesliga players, for sure. And Xavi Simons staying as well. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. That is what I was thinking in terms of my champ list. Sesko only getting better. Yeah, so there you go. Now, the thing that put me off, now let's move over to champ goalkeepers. The thing that put me off having a Bundesliga team is that the goalkeepers, for me, are just not really there. And I think where the real bargains are, where some of the really, really top goalkeepers are in Serie A and French Ligue 1. So if we look at these in Serie A, let's just go with those two. And then we look at these in Ligue 1. And then leave the rest, right? What's going on, Rico, man? Welcome, mate. Welcome. So Milinkovic-Savic. Now I get that he's going to be less because they're not playing in Europe and whatever, but he still sometimes plays for Serbia, so there's a little bit of utility there. But there's a lot more greens on there than quite a few of the Bundesliga. As you said earlier, it's a goal fest, right? So maybe everybody's in the same boat, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, even Bayern concede quite a bit. But you look at his last price was 0.04, was like £100 that he went for, and he scores like that. Now, even cheaper is this guy, Skorupski at Bologna, and they finished third last year, or fifth, because they've got the extra Champions League spot this year. And look how many greens again, very, very consistent. Like you look at his home fixtures, very, very good. Now, the ones that he didn't play, the other guy come in and collect clean sheets as well. So I could pick up both of these guys for the price of Jose Sa, for example, if I was to play the Prem. So I was like, right, so he's decent. I've just closed that guy. So Bizot, I put in there. Now, he's very, very consistent in terms of greens. He's playing in Europe this season. I compare him with Kenny Lala, who's a really, really capable defender as well, very cheap, for, like, again, £100. Going on to the Monaco stack that I was talking about, you look at him, really solid goalkeeper. Now, he's a lot more expensive. Okay, you are looking at more like 250 quid. Savic might get the Serbia #1 again with Rajkovic going to Saudi. Exactly, so there might be some utility in there as well, right? But picking up these goalkeepers, so just to kind of finish this off, so that was the Monaco goalkeeper, and then the last one was Bolka, which is probably the main pick for me. So he plays for Nice. I think that he gets a transfer to a massive Champions club in the future. I think he's a really, really solid goalkeeper. I was looking at this, and I know it's going to be really small, but I was using FB Ref in terms of clean sheet percentages when they play, their save percentages as well. And in all of these, you've got Milinkovic-Savic in there. You've got Bolka in the top 10. Then if you go by clean sheet percentage for when they play, you've got Milinkovic-Savic as number 4 and Bolka as number 5. They are top goalkeepers in regards to the Big 5 league. So I would like to have those. The trouble is that if I buy somebody like this, not only are they very, very expensive, like for Bolka or from the Monaco guy, they're expensive, but I don't know why a thumbs up has just come up there. I think I've got emotions turned on or some shit. I don't know. Then I'm forcing myself to play Champion rather than the La Liga or the Bundesliga. And that's where I'm really stuck at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to get the really good pieces like this goalkeeper, or whether it's even the right thing to do at the moment. And that's where I'm really stuck. And I'm literally spending hours and looking at these goalkeepers and stuff. Because in the Bundesliga, now let's just have a look at this. In the Bundesliga, and for those who know it a lot more than probably what I do, right? Feel free to correct me or something. But let me just get floor price up on there as well. There's no one in here that I'd really want to own. That's a decent price. You've got Kobel in there who's 0.17. That's an insane amount. You got Nubel who's 0.1. That's again, it's a lot of money. It's double, if not triple, the price of some of those goalkeepers that I was just talking about. I mean, Nubel, however you say his name. Yeah, fairly decent, but Milinkovic-Savic's scores was actually better than him. Don't touch Bundesliga goalkeeper if you're not playing the Bundesliga comp. Exactly. And that's where my head's at. And that's where I'm thinking, but what was the point of picking up Kramaric? You know what I mean? If I'm not going to play... if I'm not going to play the Bundesliga comp, would it not make sense to sell Kramaric and sell Porro, get some cash back, and then pump it more into the Liga guys, and just go all in on the Liga? And if I wanted to on a given game week, I could always just chuck it in champ anyway. That's where my head's at. But I do think that with Kramaric, if I sold Porro and I got Ram, if I sold, if I've got a little bit of cash left, sort of thing. So if I picked up a goalkeeper, the goalkeeper that I'll probably pick up, where would he be in one of these lists? He might be in champ, maybe. Did I miss him? The goalkeeper that I'd probably pick up if I was going to pick one up would be him, because I don't mind his price for, like, he's still got green on his card. And that would be an okay team. Him, Kramaric, Ram, Amiri, I'd have to buy, and then I'm clutching at straws to get like a couple of extras. But would I get more out of La Liga? That's where my head's at the moment. Blue Tomato says, focus on one league with your budget. Yep. I think so. Jonathan, that's what I've done. I've built 3 Bundesliga teams. And when I have some of the best matchups in Europe, I put them in champion, if not go into Bundesliga. Yeah. I think I might have to sell Porro and Kramaric. I think Kramaric is underpriced though, from what he can do, you know. And I watch Tottenham kind of week in and week out. So I would really like to watch Spurs with some Sorare players, you know. But maybe it's just too soon at the moment. Not a big fan of Zetner in real life. Yeah, but scores wise, it's not too sad, is it? The other fella that you could pick up in here is he doesn't play for here. He plays for. He plays for a guy with someone with a similar badge as that. This guy, who's he play for? Oh, Stuttgart. Yeah, he does well, doesn't he? He does all right. No, even earlier, the long one. Oh, Blue Tomato says, in my opinion, it makes no sense to focus on Bundesliga, Prem, or La Liga in Classic if you only have 5 or 6 cards. They will never have good matchups all at the same time. I suppose it depends if you've got like mini stacks and stuff, right? Because that could work. But yeah, if you've got 5 or 6 cards, I'd need to bring in a bit of depth with the Bundesliga, and that's when I'd probably go in and start looking at some of those, you know, like I picked up that left back at Celta Vigo, who still has some green scores and things like that. I'll just have a little bit of balance. But you're right, if one of them gets injured, if Kramaric is out, I need another top forward in there, so it's not really going to work. So I think this is where, you know, going back on my gallery and looking at it, I had in my head that I was going to play champ, and that's where I picked up these 2 in my first 4 champ cards. And I think that since then my mind's kind of switched a little bit, because so let's just go to my La Liga watch list. This is the only one that we kind of haven't gone through in here. So some of the goalkeepers are premium, right? Let's just filter by this. So Oblak is in there. I was just monitoring price, and Ramiro as well, because I was thinking about a Sociedad stack at the beginning of this. So they're very, very expensive, and I've already got 2 starting, what I think is going to be starting goalkeepers when they get going. And I could always pick up another one for a decent price as well. And then defenders, you get some really good options for decent prices. Gutierrez at Girona, so they're playing Champions League football, and when he plays, he can do okay. You know, he can do all right for that price. It's not too bad. You got Christensen, who I guess a bit of a risk, a bit of a rotation risk, but he plays for Denmark, which is good utility. And he should move back to centre back for a little while, I think, at Barcelona. Until who is it that's back? Somebody's back. But yeah, anyway, for what was his last price? And pick him up for that, which is what, £29? Decent. This guy this guy scores all right, you know. Scores all right. I mean, he looks like a bit of a unit, but he scores all right for ridiculously cheap. Again, if you're having 3 teams, I'm going to need some of these people that I can plug in like a D4 team and stuff. Malky says, don't sleep on Athletic Club. Guys like DeMarcos, Yuri. I'll have to have a look at them. I cheaper can do a good job. Is DeMarcos not the one who's like 38 or something? Jonathan says, with La Liga, though, it does feel that you need Real Madrid or Barcelona piece. Yeah. When we come to that, I've got a couple in there. I think Gundogan has to be my next purchase. I think he's just involved with everything at Barca. With the hey, Mr. Parrot, what's going on, Dion? Welcome, mate. Welcome. Grozabel. Garozabel. I've never even heard of this guy. Garozabel. Oh, at Athletic. Could be interesting. Yeah, I'd have to have a little look at this team. At Deportivo, yeah. 35 with a new contract. Okay. I didn't know he got a new contract. I thought there was actually talk of him potentially leaving. Will he play week in and week out? But yeah, he can absolutely do a good job, right? Of course he can. He can smash. Does he play week in and week out as well? Sam Baines said, I have a Kane and a Bellingham and feel like I need to sell one because playing champion seems a little bit scary. Yeah, but I think we'll be a little bit surprised with champ. I don't know why. You know, don't get me wrong. It's the rewards are there in terms of like in season and stuff with their biggest competition. But if you hold an Mbappe, if you hold a Bellingham, you've got to play them. You've got more than one places to play them. Is what I'm getting at. So they're not all going to be in the same pool, and that was what was worrying me a little bit about Syria and Italy as well. Is that they have to be played in champ. You know, every Theo Hernandez is going to be played in champ. Every don't know, I can't even think of a decent one. Like all the Monaco boys, they've got to be played in champ. So it might make sense to play, you know, the big boys in champ. It might, but what I'm getting at is there's going to be a split. Mbappe is not going to be in champ competitions like 100%. So I think that the competition's still going to be high. Of course it is. You know what I mean? But maybe not as like a Rodri, I'd be really interested to see the split between playing him in Champ Europe and playing him in the Prem. Very, very interesting. He'll play if not injured. There'll be some rotation to give him a break, especially as they're in Europe. Okay, gotcha. To be fair, if you have Kane and Jude, think you'd prefer to play Champ. Yeah, like I would personally, if I had a Kane and a Jude, I would play Champ almost week in and week out and pick up a couple of pieces around them that are like top as well and just play Champ. But yeah, sort of going back onto this, where was I on my kind of list? Talking about that guy, I was talking about him. So I think that if there's anybody have any information about Gaia, do you know when he's going to be back? Because when he plays, he fucking smashes most of the time. He's got like, well, not most of the time, but he's got dark green scores in him. And when you look at his actual stats in game, very, very solid. There was talk about him going to potentially Barcelona as well. But yeah, I know that he's injured and he's recovering. It says a green tick here, but he's definitely recovering from some sort of injury. Definitely. But like he's a very, very good defender card in there. Daily Blind does a job, gets the 60s pretty much most weeks. around here, like an average around the high 50s, playing European football for literally peanuts. You've got Loic Baddy, really, really good. Again, you've got Fran Garcia, which can do a job. Mendy isn't going to play week in and week out. And when he plays, when he starts at Real Madrid, he does decent. Again, European football. Eder Militao is obviously more expensive, and the Koundé is most expensive, more expensive as well. But Carvajal being literally a third, 2/3 of the price of Porro, and he's still got these dark green ones in there as well. So to your point earlier about some of the Real Madrid and Barcelona pieces, they're actually like accessible. They're not right out of my price range. Yeah, so that's defenders. I don't think that I'm missing like another top premium defender in there, really. And then midfielders, we go on to this is where I'm probably gonna pick up. If I stick in the Liga, I'm probably gonna pick up all of these. Gundogan is next on there, but Pepilu, that's who we was talking about earlier. So he's 100% on the list. Braz Mendes, somebody mentioned him earlier, taking their set pieces. Now, scoring wise, it's not amazing, but again, the Liga midfielders, not all of them are amazing, and he will certainly do a job. And Real Sociedad play European football as well. Just going back to Pepilu as well, really, really consistent. He reminds me a little bit of João Paulo for Seattle. He kind of gets a lot of tackles. He gets a lot of AA. He pops up with some of the goals, takes their set pieces. João Paulo takes or used to take a lot of their corners over in Seattle. What's going on, Kebab? Welcome, mate. Yeah, it reminds me of him. So he's definitely high up on the list. And then who else did I have in here? I mentioned him earlier. Alex at Villarreal, taking over most of the set pieces from Danny Pereira over there. But you can see some green scores there. And then Fornals as well. So I'm back on that Real Betis hype train, along with Isco. When we just select Real Betis in there, and even if we just go by his starts, 5 appearances over 60 in there as well. So I think from an AA standpoint, like he's okay. And again, linking up with Isco, linking up with Fekir, I'm probably going to pick one of him up. One of his 2023 cards I've got to pick up. Another little thumbs up for you there as well. So who's the other one? Lino at Atleti. He's class 2. I think I was looking at him earlier. I'm sure I was. Yeah, I was. Definitely. Yeah, I was looking at him. Yeah. The only thing that concerned me a little bit about him is his AA. Really kind of hit and miss a little bit. I mean, he literally went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games there in a row. All right, one was a sub appearance where it was pretty bad. Finished the season obviously very, very strong, but that was the only concern with me on that one. Hence why I didn't kind of make the final watch list, so to speak. So that was midfielders, and then with forwards, these were the remaining ones that I was looking at. So a Griezmann, whose price is coming down further and kind of further. Each week almost. I thought about, do you know what? This would be an interesting one. Can I do a poll on this? Engage with your audience. There we go. Start a poll. This is an interesting question. All right. There you go. Start poll. There's the question, boys. Should I sell Lionel Messi, because they're the same price at the moment, basically? Sell Messi and get a Griezmann. Be really interesting to see what people say on this. It's 50-50 at the moment. There's best part of 30 people in here. It'd be interesting to get everybody's vote on this one. Because I was looking at it earlier, and when you look at Messi, and the only reason why I was thinking about this is obviously utility for the next 4 months, right? what could I get more out of Griezmann, considering I'm thinking about picking up a Gundogan, and I could have him, I could have Griezmann, I could have Isco, I could have I need to pick up another defender or whatever, and a goalkeeper. Would I pick up more? Because when you look at Messi, he's going to be out until, I don't know when he's going to be back, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's going to be playing these games as well for Argentina, which means he might be rested here for the rest of the season. Now, he scores are obviously mental, and the theory that I had at the beginning of this was to keep my MLS, the absolute smashers, that when they come back, I've got the likes of Kai Wagner, Carlos Hill, and all of those folks with a Messi to try and win that competition, right? But I was thinking, for this price, I could potentially sell him. I've still got a Pencil, I've still got a Diego Rossi, I've still got an Insigne for now in terms of MLS balance. I could sell him and pick up a Griezmann, who, let's have it right, I'd say within a year he's going to be in the MLS anyway. He wants to move to the MLS. I don't know when his contract's up, or definitely within 2 years. I think he'll be in the MLS signing for someone. There was actually talked about him signing in this summer. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, it'd be interesting. So it's 50-50 split. We've got 12 votes on it. Should I sell Lionel Messi to get a Griezmann to fit in with my new strategy? Any other votes? We're missing about like 20 odd votes here, guys. No way, buy both. Griezmann linked with the MLS. Yeah. So, well, exactly, Gaza. Exactly, mate. Rickerman says, is your Messi in season or classic? It's classic. It's got about 9% XP on him. It's classic. But next year, I'm only going to be playing classic in like that competition anyway. What have I missed? What's your new strategy? Basically, playing some of the champ competitions, Kebab. And I will do a kind of a bigger video on this, or a summary of everything that I've just spoken about here, in a video very, very soon. You know, once I've probably picked up a couple of more pieces. All right. Shit, here we go. 62% is saying that I should sell Messi. The thing that... So Griezmann, I think that obviously he's got a couple of years left at La Liga, and then I think he goes MLS for at least 2 years. So he's got 4 years left. But when Messi plays, like, he's the one that you have to have, right? But then everything that we've just spoke about the players that I've already picked up, the players that I would potentially pick up, just to finish this, Ayoze Perez for that Betis, Real Betis stack and that collection. So he's in there, and he does really, really well actually from an AA standpoint for a forward as well. 17, 13, 18, 31. I think that he'd be a good pickup for me. And then we've got Victoria, again, another player that I've used to own. It used to stack him with Alex Garcia, who's now moved to Bayer Leverkusen. So I've owned him before. I know what he does. He's only going to pick up more and more set pieces now that Garcia's gone. And he could even become a penalty taker as well now that, what's his name, Dubrov, something like that, has moved to Roma, or nearly moved to Roma. Jack says, depends on your challenger team with Messi and your champ team with Griezmann. Could you find another MLS smasher to replace Messi? Well, the thing is with it is that, look, if we look at my MLS players, so my forward for the MLS at the moment, ignore like some of these are shitty rewards, some of them are for literally for collection bonuses as well. But I've got Benteke, who smashes 100 every now and again. I've got Pencil, I've got Rossi, and I've got Insigne. And for next year, probably who I'd end up picking up is it's probably not going to be a Cucho, because I think that he actually leaves the MLS very soon. Let me just have a look at here. So it'd probably be a Buanga that I'd pick up, and a Moreno. Now, I know that they're not the names of Messi, etc., but for my gallery where I've got two Evanders, and I plan on keeping two Evanders actually. Well, do I? I wouldn't mind picking up another pencil. I'd definitely pick up another pencil and another Ricky Pooge and just play them in multiple lineups. But the thing is that I've got two Evanders, and this is something again that I'll put to you guys. Maybe you can help out. Some good MLS forwards there, yeah, definitely for sure. I've got an old. I won the Evander the other week, and I've got a classic Evander. Now you can't see it there because my camera's there, but there's the kind of in-season one. So I could sell the in-season one now and then have like more money to obviously buy other players. I mean, Gaz has just said there, sell Evander and get Griezmann. I could definitely do that. And the only thing that's stopping me really is that in the next 2 months, I could play Challenger in season and have Evander, Acosta. I'd have to play a Stefan Fry or Steve Clark or Hugo Lloris, all very, very good goalkeepers in the MLS. And then defender-wise, it'd either be a Yeimar, a Hollingshead, or a Brooks Lennon. And I think that team could... Did I say a forward, by the way? It would be a classic forward. So it'd probably be like a Rossi or a Pencil in there as well. Like that could do some damage in Challenger in season, and I could win some money. That's what's stopping me from selling the Evander in season. And at the same time, that if I'm playing some of my big guns in the in season, I still want to be left with playing some of the top dogs in classics. For example, I'd have Blake in goal. I'd have Steve Clark in goal because I've got two Steve Clarks. And then I've got Wagner, who's more like just a shoe-in week in and week out in terms of classic. Then I'll have left in here the Evander, Ricky Pooge, Hector Herrera and Carlos Gil when he comes back. And then I've still got Insigne or Rossi if I was to play Pencil and when Messi comes back. And again, I think that could actually win Challenger in-season cards. So I'm stuck between, do I move now to load in with the new strategy and go in the Liga on the Evander card, or do I just hold and try and win as much as possible and then sell them and then buy the classic cards anyway if I win some stuff? That's kind of where my head's at. Hopefully I've explained that right. Daniel says good reasoning. I'm glad I'm not just talking shit. Rickman says, I don't think that you need Evander, to be honest. You have other options. What classic Evander? Sell Evander and get Griezmann. Sell the classic so you have options in the MLS in season. So I did have him listed all this week, by the way, Evander, to see for exactly that reason. I was thinking, well, you know, I could just sell him, cash in and fund the other strategy, but see what offers I get for him. And his classic is just plummeting in price. Now, I didn't even, if I sold him at this price, I didn't even pay that price for him. But for a guy who scores like that, that's fucking mad. And that's what's like the fear factor kind of thing is just like, oh, don't sell him because I could actually play him in season. If he's scoring like that, I can play him and utilize him in season and in classic. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. I would sell the in season so you have more options in season. Huh? I would sell the in season as you have more options in season. Yeah, but I haven't though. In season, I haven't really, because my in season cards for a midfielder point of view is Costa, yeah. Rusnak, maybe he would play in there. João Paulo, who I'm pretty much trying to sell anyway, to be honest. Tommy does okay in there. Forsberg has been out for fucking ages, so not really from a midfield standpoint, especially that my forward is going to have to be a classic card, really. Yeah, I could play Johnny Russell in there, but he's about as fucking useful as a chocolate teapot with some of his injuries. Pencil now, the utility's gone on him, so he's a classic card anyway. So my classic card has to be a forward, which means everybody else has to be in season. That makes sense. So that's where I'm stuck. But out of the whole gallery, I think that there's a few cards that I would definitely sell. Now, a few of the goalkeepers I've got listed anyway. Brad Guzan, I'll just pick up the 20 quid, or if somebody wanted him, fine. I wouldn't sell any of my defenders. I would just, like, they are what they are now. I would potentially sell Rusnak, and I'd potentially sell, I would happily sell João Paulo as well to fund maybe like that Braz Diaz that we was talking about earlier, similar price. I would sell the Evander, one of the Evanders, I don't know which yet. And then from a forward standpoint, I would potentially sell Messi. Other than that, I would just stick with it. The disrespect on, I know, Fafa, do you know what? I got a little bit of stick actually off of a few, like I put him in a video a few weeks back and I was like, this guy's a bit underrated, you know? And I got a little bit of stick from it. And since then, he's had some very good scores. His AA is decent for a forward. He plays in a team that's playing at home a lot, or you know, in the next few weeks, and playing with a Ryan Gould as well. That he's a decent little pickup. He's definitely decent. Jamster says there isn't many EU challenger mids that score as good as him. To be honest, I'd keep him to maximise your ability to win in-season reward money to fund new players, ideally. So I think I would definitely keep the in-season. I think that's where my head's at. I definitely want to keep the in-season because pairing him with Acosta, as I've just kind of gone through, or a Rusnak, like they can do some business in the in-season challenger and they can definitely win some stuff. It's the classic that I'm thinking about getting rid of. But in the back of my mind as well, I'm also thinking next year, why not just have literally just the top boys in the MLS and just run like 2 or 3 of exactly the same lineup? But I've got to get there yet. Well, I'm nowhere near there. Guys said, I'd sell the classic, but seeing them scores, I'd maybe keep if you're playing challenger because there won't be many kits scoring that high. It's exactly it. 1 minute I'm like, yeah, I'd sell it. Next minute I'm like, no, keep it and try and win more with it and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of torn with it. And at the same time, I don't want to put in like another $2,000 or something like that to get me up and running with La Liga. Like I put in a couple of hundred yesterday or something like that just to keep me sort of ticking over with it so I can pick up some cards, but I don't really want to put in any more. So that's almost why I've been trying to pick up some of these budget goalkeepers and things, which probably answers my question in terms of Porro and Kramaric. In terms of maybe I just need to sell them and focus on La Liga and see what I can do with it. It just makes more sense, right, than trying to go into champ. Fucking hell. What to think about, innit? Lot to think about. What was his last price? Went for 0.3, yeah? It must have been somebody wanting that collection, surely. Yeah, because there's another one up here. Maybe I'll sell him. Yeah, let's do another. So that poll, by the way, ended up as 50-50. So thanks, guys. You helped bundles. That was, should I sell Messi to get Griezmann? Which I still don't know. So I'm going to end that poll. So I'm going to do another one. So it's literally 50-50. So fucking hell. Didn't expect it to be that tight. Let me do another poll where it is, should I focus on La Liga? Well, should I focus on ... La Liga only or champ picking up Serie A and League One bargains. There you go. Right. Got a character limit, you fuck. I'll do that. Well, let's do that and put an S on that. Perfect. There you go, boys. Another poll. So, should I sell Porro and sell Kramaric and literally just focus on La Liga? Or should I keep them and then try and pick up some of the Serie A sort of bargains that I was talking about, the goalkeepers earlier, and some of the League One players as well? You know, that Kira, or whatever you say his name, the centre back at Monaco, etc., and go in with Champ and some Serie A and League One bargains. And we've got 12 votes already, and it's pretty much neck and neck. So I'm hoping we're not going to get another 50-50. Oh. If you haven't already, by the way, if you are enjoying the stream, hit that like button. And if you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. What's actually been really nice to see, not that my kind of subscribers have gone up like dramatically, they've gone up like 20 in the last 2 weeks, which is obviously not a lot in the kind of grand scheme of things and some of the bigger content creators and stuff out there, right? But I've seen that the other content creators' videos that I still watch are going up in terms of views, and with a few of the FPL boys and stuff coming over, so rare it feels like it's just getting a little bit bigger, you know, gradually, like them small steps. So it's nice to see that. All right, we've only had 12 votes, boys, so we've got about another 20 people missing. It'd be interesting to see what you think. At the moment, 58% are saying La Liga. Feel free to get involved with the poll. West Ham for Life 1 says, I've gone with the League en route with I don't know how to say his name, Kera, because of the scores are so good for the price. There's some really good bargains out there for Ligue 1 and Serie A. And some of them, you know, they play European football as well, so you've got your midweeks. But at the same time, if you do that, you can only play them in one place, unless they're under 23s. And, you know, I'm not going to, no way, it doesn't interest me. So I'm never going to go into under 23s unless I fall into it. So yeah, I'm then forced to play champion. Daniel says, I'm very uncertain what I'm going to do with Game Week 503 and League 1 Special. You have a Stad Rem stack, and don't know if I want to buy 3 in season. What do you think? I don't know who their like smashers are. I'm sure. Like, let's just take a look though. Well, I know 3 of them. Teddy Tuma, Ito, and Akumu can fucking smash AA. Can really smash AA. 68 AA there. 48, 62. So it depends on budget. It depends on price. You know. I don't know is the honest answer to that. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I've never bought players to play a special, so maybe I would stick to that. But maybe the prizes are that good where you just need to get involved with it, you know? So 67% say league, La Liga only. Just FOMO, yeah. Sometimes you got to park that FOMO, you know? Put it to one side and just think, fuck that, you know? You going in season or classic in champ? Be classic. There's no way I'm going to be paying the prices that I expect tomorrow. I think that there's going to be some absolute crazy prices. Iheanacho's going to Seville. Interesting. Dovbik, that's the one I was talking about earlier. Looks like he's kind of signing now. Kuto, I watched him last season, and although he got some like decent returns at Girona, I thought he was he was okay, but he lost the ball a lot, you know. What else has been going on? Anything? Conor Gallagher and Atletico Madrid, they're close to reaching a full agreement. Do you know what? Gallagher might do all right at Madrid. He might do all right. Interesting move. Very interesting move. What else is going on here? Any other ones? Pascal Gross. That would be another one. You know, going back to that Bundesliga thing, if I kept Kramaric, I could put a Gross in there as well. I think that his scoring continues for sure. Anything else going on here that we need to be aware of? I don't think so. Dani Olmo going to Barcelona. Probably. I would have thought. What the hell? The agreement between Navas and Monza could collapse despite medical tests and travels booked. That's interesting. I mean, it's a mental move anyway. They was going to sign Galini, wasn't they? That is mad. I don't know if anybody else does this as well. Just get alerts on like the top sort of transfer people out there, and then anything that comes in, I'm normally just checking the Sorare price. So that's interesting. Thoughts on Fofana to Milan? Or would he better staying at Monaco? Immediately, my thought is that he'd be better staying at Monaco, to be honest. But I think he's one of those guys who's going to get decent-ish scores. Nothing amazing, but decent. So yeah, Daniel, that's kind of my thought on that one. From the La Liga list, then, like 56%, it's getting close again. You know, people are still look at that even closer. People are saying, or is someone doing that on purpose? Nah. Only 53% is saying La Liga only, and this is exactly where my head's been at. You know, with 2 polls today, do I sell Messi to get in a Griezmann or something? That's, you know, 50-50 with you guys. And then should I focus on La Liga only or look at Champ? And that is literally 53% is saying La Liga and 47 is saying Champ. And, you know, I can keep the La Liga boys, obviously, but fucking it's where my head's at, and I'm really, really unsure what to do. Really unsure. Ismaili Sarr has just signed his contract. I think that'd be a good signing for Palace. I think Palace are going to do some bits this year. I really do. Right, let's have a look at the market, see if anybody's listed. Because my shortlist, my watch list, sorry, you know, I like the players on there, so I could potentially pick them up anyway. Gabriel says, I think it's easier to focus on one single league as well as you understand it more with all the effort you put into learning it, in my opinion. Very wise words, sir. Very wise words. Let's just have a look to see if anybody's been listed. No? Do you want to filter or no? All right, there we go. Caught up eventually. Oh, somebody did list a Gunnagun. Good. Any reason in you're ignoring limited? Really interested in rare, but I feel like the price number is too high. Yeah, I kind of touched upon it earlier. I just the rewards are just more attractive to me in rare, to be honest. I know that I could probably sell a few rares and then get like some of the best players in limited, but I don't know. I just prefer rare, I think. I did see this your comment earlier, Jack. If you are still in it, by the way. Oh, I was thinking about picking up a Januzaj as well. I think that he's going to do all right at Las Palmas. He's one of those players who can score decent. And for like £4, I was going to pick him up. Yeah, I saw your comment earlier, Jack. By the way, that you picked up a Pepelu. I wonder what price you picked him up at. Yeah, not a bad price. Nice. 2002 card. What was that? Okay. See, when I look at the price for that, right? So he's coming in at that price. Yeah, got a few new cards to go with it for the collection. Nice. I'll have a little cheeky look. Let's have a see what. All right, you've picked up literally the lowest kind of guys to get the collection. Yeah, smart. When I look at his price, he's the same price as Kramaric, and in my opinion, Kramaric is a better scorer. But then again, I'm looking at the difference between Champ and a La Liga only competition. So I'm back to fucking what do I do again? City Keane. I'm looking for a mid around £300 in the Premier League. I'm not familiar with the prices in the Prem, but for £300, you surely get a decent one, or $300, which is probably about 280 quid or something like that. I'll have a quick look just out of interest. See floor price. My kind of brain immediately goes to Eze at Crystal Palace because I think that they're going to have a really good season. Can I change this to? I have to change settings and things like that. But 0.1 is about 250 quid, I think it is at the moment, right? Declan, yeah, that's why I just looked at that. Declan would be a good one. Bruno, Guimaraes, whatever your fucking name is, he'd be a good one. That's a lot of money, mate. I mean, even think about splitting that in half, picking up two, depending on what depth you've got. Madison could do bits. I mean, you could pick up a Kudos. Somebody said in there he's a brilliant kid to have short term and long term. A Kudos and a Eze for the same price as what you'd pay for a Declan Rice might be nice, depending on your depth. For sure. Don't like Pepelu after what he did to Levante. I have no idea what that means. I'm assuming he done something. Gibbs White on pens. Yeah, I just don't think Gibbs White has got the same return as like an Eze or a Kudos. Kudos. Did I miss anybody? If I was to focus on a Liga, did I miss anyone that's not like an insane price? That should be on my list that's not on my list. Now, Eric Garcia obviously smashed it last year at Girona, but he's going back to Barcelona, and I don't know if he's going to be playing or not. Probably not. Look at Aspas in there, a 36-year-old in the top 7 players in the Liga. That's mad, isn't it? Sorlov, somebody mentioned him earlier, but isn't he like he's AA, he's appalling. He's like a Lewandowski, isn't he? Now, don't get me wrong, you don't need AA if you're going to score 4 a game, but that form is not going to continue. So that's what puts me off of him, at least. Yeah, any kind of like hidden cheap gems that we've missed, or anybody wants me to sort of bring up and talk through. Who else have we got in this list? There's Pepelu in there. Eze now getting listed as a forward, which is interesting. Hopefully forward cards coming in season this season. How's it going, mate? What's going on, ATX? What's happening? What am I looking for? Well, a lot's been discussed, mate. Basically, I'm moving into the Champ region, whether that's focusing on La Liga or Champ as a whole. I'm sort of picking up some of the Serie A and that bargains. I've picked up a few of the what I call bargains or cheaper players in the Liga, but I'm just trying to work out where I should be focusing, and if I should be selling anyone and that sort of stuff. Rico man, we'll be interested what Pico Fernando are like in La Liga. Yeah, I would always. They could actually come and smash it, but I'm definitely going to stay clear of anybody who's coming into the that's been promoted, for sure. For sure. What is Vinny's scores like? I've never really looked at him because I've never been that interested in him. I mean, they're not amazing, are they? Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say no to a Vinny, but if you go similar players, let's go based on that. And like, interesting. Yeah, never really looked at him before. Sorry, not related to La Liga. No, it's all right, mate. But will the instant buyer for the 2023 to 24 season be gone when the new season cards drop? Never mind, they're already gone. Yeah. They're only going to want you to buy the new season ones. Sidikin, I have the full Madrid collection and Mbappe now. Fucking hell. What, rare or limited? Or super rare? If it's super rare, you are absolutely flossing. Guys, anyone want Muncho for La Liga? Don't buy it. He's gone to Greece. Okay. He's gone to Greece, has he? Wow, City. In rare, fucking hell. What's your gallery? Let's have a little look. Are you in here? Is this you? No, it's definitely not you with that, is it? What's your gallery name? It'd be nice to have a look. ATX. Oh shit. ATX Mix. If I remember, you have a similar path to me. 240, yeah. Classic Challenger in MLS, yep. With how classic prices have dropped for the older guys, mid-tier options, I'd suggest going for elite level champ. Elite level champ? Fucking hell, how much money do you think I've got to spend on this game? I've got a mortgage, 2 kids, fucking God knows what else I'll spend shit on. But no, yeah, return on investment longer term. You're right. It's picking up some of these decent players. I think at the moment I'm in the position where it's just like I'm getting involved in a new area. I either go balls deep or I just enjoy the game and start scouting and stuff like that, you know. I mean, one more top guy rather than free depth. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. All good. Sid's Galacticos. Sid's. Is there an apostrophe in there then? Yeah, there we go. All right, Sid, what we saying? You got a little Man United stack going on there as well, and a little Prem stack. Let's have a look at your Prem teams. Some nice pieces in there. Some very nice pieces in there. A Haaland as well, yeah? Have you won a lot, or did you just fucking go balls deep and just bought everyone? Nice. You're playing Classic, Premier League and La Liga. You got a Taki. Do you think the Taki's so he's the one that's probably actually not on my list that potentially should be. But looking at him, it don't like they're good scores, don't get me wrong, but they don't blow me away. I mean, consistency around here, yeah, great, but around here, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm on the Taki bandwagon. You loved him last season. What, watching him or actually using him? You've got some Girona boys in there as well. And here comes your Real Madrid. Kubo is a must for a La Liga focus. Is he really a must, Felix? Is he a must for Classic? I don't know if he is. Like, Aspas scores better than him. And he's 36 and fuck knows what he moves like, but I can't imagine he's rapid. Yeah, you should do all right, mate, with this with the La Liga one. So if you're clued up, City, on one of the consistent forwards, like I'm not saying he's a bad card at all, and I might even end up picking him up, but like kind of you hear a lot of people talk about him, right? And he's been linked to Liverpool. And I was just looking at him and I was thinking, is he really that good? I don't know. Do you think that Mendy plays Like, I get that he's the first choice, but how many games do you think Fran Garcia actually gets? Because I was thinking about picking one up. Because when he plays and when he starts, he does all right. If Rafinha keeps his spot, he scores very well for his price. But surely they're trying to go after Williams, aren't they? So surely he drops as along with because Yamal's going to start one side and Williams would start the other, I'm assuming. Mendy will be a starter, but we may play close to 70 games total. Yeah. Which means Garcia comes in, right? That left back role. Because I'm sure, who was it? Somebody like Valencia or Villarreal wanted him and you guys said no. 20 to 25 games. Is that, well, I suppose it's, what about just focused like from Sorare utility point of view, from a league standpoint and from Champions League? Because obviously you've got the other cups, but Felix says he's very good. He scores in the last couple of months don't reflect his potential. Was rotated a lot weirdly. Do you think that continues then, Real Sociedad? Like, was there a reason behind it? Do you know? But and here we go, boys. Look, the poll has ended on the same result as the last one, 50-50. La Liga only 50%, and Champ, along with some Serie A and Liga and bargains, at 50%. So basically, you have not helped me out. You have been absolutely useless. I'm joking, but fuck me. It at least solidifies in my own brain that I'm not going mad. Yeah. I don't know if it interests you, but Bundesliga has some very solid options for good value if you decide into what league to go into. Yeah, we kind of went through. I know you've only just come in, mate, but we kind of went through a lot of that earlier, and I have picked up a Kramaric from a forward standpoint. I've got Amiri and things like that on my list, David Rahm, but the goalkeepers like really put me off. So I have picked up more La Liga players. I would say his last 15 games for Fran in La Liga. I would say at least 15 games for Fran in the Liga. Yeah. I don't know, for like 14 quid, I just think, am I really going to be picking up any other Real Madrid players? Definitely not any of the goalkeepers. Maybe Carvajal. Maybe. Would you say that Alaba is a good pickup? Now, I know he's the left back at Real Madrid, right? But don't know what he scores like. Let's just go here and let's just go Real Madrid. Yeah, it's not got them peaks that I would have thought that he would have had. Yeah, named three options I really like there. Bowman is he's extremely rated, I think, in the league. Solid AA. Yeah, but he don't score great, does he? I know that they've got European football this year though, so it would probably be between him and that Zentner that I was talking about earlier. Can I ask your opinion on Bordeaux? Has officially gone to amateur football. Do you believe it's good investment for their players? No idea, mate. I don't know enough about them to kind of give an opinion on it, to be honest with you. And also from a financial standpoint, I'm never gonna kind of tell you what to do. I know you're not asking that, but and not financial advice and all of that people kind of say willy nilly. But yeah, I don't know if they're gonna bounce back. Maybe do they get signed by Sorare as a license thing and then they print a new mint? I have no idea. The players are all free agents, so no idea where they will go. Okay. Yeah, so who else would I pick up in here? I wouldn't pick up a Rudiger. Oh, I was looking at Alaba, wasn't I? I was meant to be looking at fucking Mendy. What is Mendy's scores like? Yeah, still not like as spiky as what I would have thought at Real Madrid. Still solid, but A Valverde could go into the team. A Gula. Do you think that this guy's going to play much because he was superb? A Vinny, and obviously Mbappe next season. So I don't know whether it's worth actually picking up a Real Madrid card or just going in with the cheaper version. To be quite honest. So his had one. Could have got rid of some of my shit and got him in. Basil, was he sold his one? Basil? No. Oh, he's got an old one. And he's trying to sell him for more anyway. I think that do you think that he starts the first game of the season as well? Because Mendy's only just coming back. I don't know. I might just pick him up. Trader. £9. Is that a good pickup, do you think? For 9 for a tenner? Don't know, but I've got a notification here. What's this all about? All right, somebody's listening to the stream. Who's this? Roars, are you in here? Are you in here, sir? Come on, own up. Own up, come on. You're online. What's your gallery like? Does anyone else do this, by the way, that when they he offered for mine before I sold him? Okay. Does anybody else do this? Just look at the gallery that they're selling to, and if it's like a decent gallery, you question yourself, don't you? You think, oh shit, should I really be selling this guy? For £10, all it would take is a semi-decent win to get a return on investment, says Gabriel. Yeah. It's just knowing when he's going to be playing. But I think that the news, like I'm used to finding out from the MLS about like the news is fucking late. So a lot of the times your Alaba won't be back until January at least. Yeah, so there'll be rotation between him and Mendy really in terms of different competitions, right? So maybe I would pick one up. Yeah, so I'm used to really late news with the MLS. Whereas I think that there's more news out there at the moment. If he puts a bid in for Kramaric too, you know he's on the stream. Yeah, I think it's right for me to sell Porro. I don't think I've got any business in the Prem. I think that was just sort of going my heart a little bit. So if I can, what did I pay for him? And what was the last sale? So there's one up there that he could just buy off the market, right? What did he offer me? 255, 65 quid. What did I pay? If he gives me, like I'm right in selling Porro, right, guys? Give me some feedback. I should be selling him, shouldn't I? Even if I did focus on Champ and not La Liga, I I could pick up somebody who scores similar to him for cheaper anyway, like in Serie A or Ligue 1. I think, like if I just go defenders in here and just go to champions, take out that. Oh, I meant to take that out. All leagues. David, right? Yeah, exactly. Porro loses set pieces because of Madders. They'll share it, City. They'll share sets. Schlotterbeck, is that? Oh no, he's 0.1. Jesus Christ, I was going to say. Like even a Kenny Lala. I could have a Kenny Lala and a Jonathan Klaus, who are both basically like Porro. To be honest with you, I'm just going to sell him. Surely he's going to give me a bit more though, right? Give me 67 pound 50. Give me £67.50, please. and you can have him. Oh shit. It's on my fucking phone. Alright, bear with, boys. Bear with. Let's just pause that. Because I'm using my phone as my authenticator. Here we go. Is that alright? Something like that. That'll do. Yeah, no, I was using my phone as the authenticator. So yeah, let's see if he does that. Cool. Sorry, Poro. Question as a Spurs fan, who means Son age is creeping up a bit. Recently, how long do you think he stays at Spurs? I think he stays quite a while. To be quite honest, captain of the team. Why is that still appearing? It's so annoying. Anyway, yeah, captain of the team. I think he's got another 2 years, like at decent level. I think that some of his pace is going to start to go though. I don't think he's going to be, and it might even be where oh, it's finally gone. Perfect. It might even be why Ange was playing Son as a number 9 a little bit. I know that we haven't got the amazing players in terms of a number 9, but we might have been trialing him out there because he was losing a bit of his pace. But I still think he's more than quick enough at the moment. Do you know what I mean? And Son's a good guy in terms of intelligence and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, got you. All right. So what about Kramaric then? Jack, are you still in the stream? You wanted a Kramaric, didn't you? Like, so again, if I was to sell him and I did decide to play champ, who is similar that has European utility, takes all sets as a forward, or at least got decent AA, and plays for their country? Let's just have a little look. No point in selling Kramaric, you don't think? Bearing in mind that I've got no other Bundesliga pieces at the moment, and I'll be forced to get more players for champ. Only worth if you're moving to La Liga, yeah. But for the price that I paid for Kramaric from where I am at, that's why I was just looking. Is there somebody that's similar to him that's maybe a touch cheaper? Probably not, to be honest. Aspas, I've obviously already got one of anyway. I also think Kramaric just rockets in price. I don't think he stays as that even from a classic card. Jeremy Boga at Nice again. You can have a little Nice stack. He had a good end to the season. But he's not as consistent as Kramaric, is he? Mm, 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 mm. Anybody else around like 0.02 that's Lacazette? Doesn't excite me though, does he? It'd probably be him. I'll bring him up in a minute. White McNeil. Hudson Odoi. Politano might be a shout as well, you know. Dybala. I don't know. I mean, I'm down into like 59th there, right? But it'll probably be this guy. If I sell Kramaric, I get him in. Again, I don't think he's on Kramaric's like real level, but he's La Liga. He's got utility for his country and for Europe, and he will take set pieces. So that's probably selling Kramaric, pocketing 0.01. And then like getting this guy in. Politano is not a bad shout as well. I know he takes a little bit of their sets, but it'd be interesting to see what Conte does with him, you know. Whether he's going to play that right wing back position. But then he's got quite a bit of competition to play with there. They'll probably won't be him. Dybala at Roma. He's almost like for like in terms of price. But then I'm still going into Serie A, aren't I? Does Benrahma take sets? I'm sure he'll share some. Sure he will. I still might pick up this guy in a minute, by the way. I'll just be interested to see whether he comes back. But I probably should have just accepted it. But you know what we're all like. We try and claw a few pounds here and there where we can. Jack, do you want to give me like 0.05 for Kramaric? I'm joking, mate. I'm joking. Let's see what else has come in from the big boys. Any of that shit? No. Interesting. Hey, tweeted you the other day about this. What did you decide? Did you, Mike? Did I reply? I normally reply to all my tweets, but did I decide in what, in terms of what I'm going to do next? Yeah, champ / La Liga. Not my mind up yet. To be fair, I'm on a buying spree tonight. Feel free, mate, if you want to, overpay a little bit to help a guy out. Like, you're welcome. You know, you're welcome. Contracts initiated for Hermoso. The attempt is real, but the path is complicated. The option Hermoso, yeah. What's he score like? Because that Bologna. Oh, not great. No, not too bad over here. Because those goalkeepers at Bologna, they really keep catching my eye for the price that they are. Like this guy here for 0.02 and then this guy here for 0.04, but 0.06, probably for 0.055, which is, how much is that? Like 200 and something pounds. You're guaranteed to get a starter on here. And as I showed you earlier, what he scores, like there's a lot of greens there. And when he doesn't play, this guy comes in and gets greens anyway. They're really, really solid at home. And they're playing European football. Something that's interesting. You got Bestie. Oh, okay. The new thingy boy, Benfica boy. Well, this is the other thing, right? Well, I haven't touched upon. I've still got Di Maria and I've still got Otamendi in my gallery, and I'm probably going to use them for Challenger for like the next couple of months. But they can come in there if Di Maria actually signs again from Benfica. But from the way that Benfica are playing in pre-season, I don't know if he does. I don't know where the fuck Di Maria is going to go. But yeah, this guy could absolutely... I saw his free kick the other day. He could absolutely smash it at Benfica, couldn't he? Yeah, mentioned I'm buying Syria. Oh, yeah, to be fair, Mike, you was the one that actually kind of brought my attention to not just champ, but sorry, not just like focusing on Prem or Bundesliga or La Liga, but to look a little bit wider. Because you're right, there were some fucking great bargains out there. These streams make me buy players. Just got to do it sometimes, mate. With your gallery, I don't know. You don't need to buy anyone. You can just clear up, mate. Di Maria is a red X, but Sorare are still minting him. Yeah, because they know that people are going to buy him. He's at least got another year or 2 years left in him. Bologna lost their manager, Motta, so I'll be careful with them in case they get a lot worse this season. Yeah, but the manager that they've got in is a solid manager. The only doubt that I've got about him is that he's going to play a lot more attacking football. So, to your point, it could change, but I still think that they'll finish high in that league. But yeah, maybe not as many clean sheets. But does anybody else use FB Ref, by the way, to look at some of this stuff? Some of this stuff, because it is interesting when you search by some of these, like random players come up that you wouldn't necessarily be looking at. Like Milinkovic Savic just looks like an absolute fucking animal in terms of like being in the top 5, 6, 7 for just everything. The other goalkeeper that I was looking at, by the way, in La Liga, if I was to focus on there, because if I was, I need to pick up another goalkeeper. I was thinking about Nyland. I don't know if he's locked in there or not. But he plays for Norway. So we get a little bit more utility out of him there. And I think somebody going back in the chat, somebody said, I see you got a Silerson. Is he nailed? I don't know if he's nailed, but I'm pretty confident with the transfer sort of saga that's going on at the moment, with their goalkeeper wanting to go to Real Betis and that goalkeeper wanting to move to Porto or somewhere else. But that depends on whether Diego Costa is going to move somewhere else. I think that at the moment, at least for the first couple of games, I think Silerson starts. So that's hence why I picked one up, but I could be totally wrong. Sevilla is a great choice. Let's have a look at him. Yeah, but is he not expensive? Or have I got the names wrong? But do you know what? He's not bad, is he? Where did Deportivo finish last season, though? Because I'm not seeing many greens here. Did they do all right? But you're right, he ain't too bad, to be fair. Have they got a defender to stack him with? Who takes their sets? Oh, that guy. Or did he take them last year? He weren't at Deportivo last year, was he? Oh, he was. Well, he ain't bad either, is he? Mid-table 12th. Oh, okay. No worries, guys. Probably not a defender to stack him with in here, is there? Probably not. Probably not. Why ain't that guy getting back to me, by the way? Do you think he's put a bid in with the other guy to see if he can get him any cheaper? He's surely not. No, he's not. Oh, Raws. Oh, Raws. Felix. Come on. Buy him, son. Buy that player. By the way, I can't read Italian. I'm just seeing if any names stand out. Is it a surprise that I can't read Italian? No? I don't know. I think I'll just pick up one of these guys. Good question, Jack. Because he's on my watch list, mate. Good question. Anybody know if Daily Blind is locked in? Now, I would say that he is, because they've lost Eric Garcia, mate. And I think that they've signed another centre-back, but Girona transfers. Because I looked at this the other day. I think that they signed, this guy from Sparta Prague. Yeah, there you go, Mike. You're up to date, more up to date than me, mate. Yeah, they bought that guy who looks like he does all right. To be fair to him, but I would have thought that there's a lot of rotation this year with Girona because they're going to have a lot more games. Not many good scoring defenders in the Liga. Absolutely, mate. The one that I think that, or that at least I was looking at, was this guy, Loic Baddy. He seems to do all right. He seems like a poor man's Eder Militao. Don't know why that name just fucking went out. You worry about Girona unless they make some major additions. Yeah, they the way that they was kind of banging on about Brian Hill coming in, like, don't get me wrong, like I like him. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of skill and everything. But their social media was just, every post was about Brian Hill. Like, they've just signed fucking Mbappe, and you're right. Like, they need to make some more signings. Losing Alex Garcia and losing their number 9, Dovbyk, is fucking massive. And Brian Hill is not going to pick up as many goals a season. Do you know? You know what I mean? Real Sociedad, you like this guy as well? Yeah. I'll tell you, I was looking at this earlier today, actually, the Real Sociedad friendlies that are currently being played. And I don't know if he's already made his way into the roster yet. Let me just check this. Yeah. So they signed Xavi Lopez and they've signed Sergio Gomez. Now, they both play left back, and they've spent a decent amount of money on both of them. Now, Xavi Lopez is the one who's starting in their friendlies, which, you know, take with a pinch of salt, I know. But it would be, I think that the defender card for Sergio Gomez could be a really, really good one in terms of a stack with Ramino. You hold Gomez. Okay. Yeah. It would be interesting whether he starts a little bit further forward. You know, he's played as Lam, left attacking mid, obviously, for Spain. Gomez is at the Olympics. Oh, okay, so that's why he's not been playing, which makes sense right here. Yeah, all right, got you. Gomez should play on the wing, much better there. Maybe they've just revamped that left-hand side then. So who played left wing before there, though? Oh, Zakarian. So he injured himself today, by the way. He's got to have surgery, so he's out for a little while. So that's not good for him. So the guy who was playing left wing was this guy, who looks shit. Although he was bit part. So, I mean, who played there? Zakarian played out there as well. So, yeah, they've revamped it. So that'd be decent. So do you think that so for Sergio Gomez then, guys, do you think that the defender card would be better, or would the midfielder then, if he's playing a little bit further forward anyway? So Hiss has got one. What's he got? Midfielder one. They could lose Kubo as well. Yeah, we was talking about him earlier, weren't we? I don't know whether it was with you, Mike, or somebody else already, but somebody said that he was like a must-have if he was playing La Liga only, and I'm not sure if he was. Gaz says Carvajal scores decent. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. What else is going on? A good website to use for La Liga. What's a good website, mate? Sorry if I missed that. Or are you asking what is a good website? Yeah. Well, I don't really know what I've come to. If I've come to any conclusion, I'll just put it in the chat as it gone in. I can't see it. It might have done, but it might be the one that I've used before. That I found the other day. Is it Sir Sorare uses the Liga expert? Oh, Football Fantasy. This guy's not too bad as well. I think this is Sir Sorare on Sorare, but he runs his own thing as well. So the goalkeepers in every club and what he thinks he's kind of who's going to start as well. But that is laligaexpert.com. But football fantasy, I didn't know that existed. So this is what I do like about Sorare as well, is that, I went through this kind of process with the MLS as well, is that you have to learn, know how another league works, know their players and that sort of stuff. And that's why I'm actually, although it's confusing me quite a bit as to whether to go La Liga only or go to Champ and what to pick up, bargains or go heavy hitters, deposit more, do this, find all of these cheap players and everything. It kind of excites me a bit more to get back into it, rather than just buying the best of the best. Click on the badge at the top. Interesting. So if I collect Real Betis, for example, and then it will show me. Okay, so this is for game number 1, what the likelihood is going to be. Interesting. They still think that Silva is gonna start. Not sure. It's good to know though. So no, I won't blame you, mate. But it's nice little place to go, isn't it? Another place to go, even. Be interested to see what this actually says. Just translate that shit. Test carried out today. It's confirmed that the league suffers. Hold on, that's the 17th of May. Yeah, I know that he's coming back, Isco. So it'd be nice to get him in there. Who's the other one then? What was we just talking about? Real Sociedad. Sergio Gomez. They've got him playing almost as a centre mid. Because Marino is probably going to go to Arsenal, isn't he? You got Braz in there as well. I'll probably pick up this guy because of the European utility, and he takes their sets as well. I think I'll just pick him up. It's a nice little website, this. A nice find. Real Madrid. Have they got... See, they've got Mendy as 90%, but he's only just joined up with the team today. I wonder if he does start as a left back for game number 1. That front four is frightening, isn't it? Really. Jesus Christ! You got Carvajal in there at 70% as well. Yeah, nice. Who have they got as the Barca defenders, by the way? They've still got Christensen playing as a CDM. Mendy will start for me. Ancelotti tried last season starting with Fran and quickly moved him to the bench. Rafinha, 80%. That's Cam. I suppose Gavi. How long's Gavi out for? And Pedri. Flick has mentioned Christensen as pivot. He's showing good potential. Might continue using him there. I suppose he don't score bad as a CDM, does he? Let's just go for Barcelona and let's just go for central midfielder. I mean, it's not amazing, but he's been hacked off at half time a few times, Probably hence why his price is a little bit low. Yeah, I still don't know what to do though. Still don't fucking know what to do. But we'll see. Who else you picked up in the meantime, Jack? Anyone? You picked up another one. Fucking hell, mate. You are on a spending spree. We're literally going to have the same. Are you buying these, by the way? If you are still here, Jack, I'm assuming you are, mate. But are you using these in the Liga as well? Is that what you're focusing, or is it just literally depth, and then you would use them wherever you need to in terms of Champ / La Liga? Yeah, planning for La Liga with these, but champ if needed. Yeah. I was just surprised. Like, I've never really looked at the Liga cards, and I was just surprised with there's not many, like, just big smashers. Just really not many. I was expecting more for some reason. I don't know why. And maybe there's just a fair amount, and it's the same across all leagues. But I was just expecting more, and that's what worries me a little bit because if we all have the same players, then it does come down a lot more to um, collection bonuses and stuff. Getting as much XP as you possibly can. Raylo is a great option for a defender. I think I looked at him. Yeah, I did look at him. Yeah, yeah, he is not bad actually. Who's the goalkeeper there? It's definitely not a 40-year-old. That was probably his last game, wasn't it? Yeah, it's Leo Roman. I mean, he does all right. Oh, he's just been transferred in. Yeah, but he's going to get the gig, isn't he? Yeah, he's leaving, so either Roman or Grief will be number one. Hmm. What does old fantasy football, whatever it is, think? What club was that? These. Well, that's totally wrong, isn't it? Because he's going. Jack, what fucking website you told me to look at here, mate? They goalkeeper Roman was on loan last season. All right, okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anyone. I think the next buyers for me, really, if I was focusing on a Liga, it's going to be Gundogan, for sure. Coming in as a midfielder. I wouldn't mind 4 nails. You thought about Valverde? Too expensive? I wouldn't say he's too expensive. I just don't know if he's. What's mad is I won him. I don't know when I won him actually. Whether I included him on a trade or something. Let me have a look. No, I won him. Jesus Christ, he used to be. He used to be 2.5 ETH. That is fucking mental. No, I won him and I sold him around here. I think 0.2 something. But I do like him. But I just think that there's better players out there than him. To be honest, in La Liga, I think Pepelu is more appealing. Maybe not from a utility standpoint, and that's why he's got a bit of a more of a price. But even this guy, I think that's more appealing to me. I don't know. Oh, boys, do we have a sell, or is he just rejected? He's accepted. Well, see you later, Pedro. Tala is accepted. There you go. So he's gone. So coming back into here, then I've got some random like La Liga boys that could do something for me in the future. Like in terms of him, Adrian from a utility in Europe, like midweeks for literally like pennies. I've definitely got a goalkeeper who's starting for Celta Vigo, be it one or the other. And I think that's fine. I've got a little stack in there with Olmiguiza. And then I've got Silerson, who I expect to be, I think that he starts. And then you've got the Isco piece in there with Aspas, which, an Isco and an Aspas could play in a D1 team for sure. And then you've got Kramaric still in there. So, interesting. Yeah, how was Sorare sevens and stuff, boys? Was it good? I I was going to go last year, but that was really close to when my son was born. So didn't do that. But considering that I played football like at a very high level all through my youth, I haven't kicked a ball in about 4 years. I need to shed some timber if I was to play at Sorare Sevens, but I'd definitely be interested in playing again. Um, and the events look fucking like really really good. So I'm hoping that you had a good time, boys. Sorare Sevens was good. Assuming they're doing it next year as well. It's a long old drive for me, but drive a little bit for work sometimes as well. So just got to get on with it. All right, so that's put some more bank in the kitty. ETH wise, what is that? I've got about 160. I've got about 0.06 ETH. Yeah, it was a great day. Nice one. Well, still don't know what I'm going to do, boys. So, cheers for following Shawnee Boy. I couldn't miss it. It was literally 3 minutes down the road for you. Lucky boy. Lucky boy. What else is going on here? Tammy Abraham remains on AC Milan list, yeah? I thought he was going to leave because he obviously ain't had a gig too much. And with them signing a new number 9, I thought he was going to leave. But he's not an amazing... Oh, there you go. Emerson Royale to AC Milan. He's at the final stage. If he plays for AC Milan, that ain't a bad signing for them. In terms of Sorare scoring as well. I think that's okay. Be very interesting when the champions teams drop tomorrow, boys. The new cards. Going to be very interesting as to what happens. Very, very interesting. I think that people like Pranksy and that are just going to go out and just go fucking mental and just buy everyone and then just literally clean up for the first 4 weeks in season. It's going to be madness, yeah. Maybe well, no, there's just no point of even bringing that in. I was going to say maybe scout tomorrow and you could pick up like a little bargain here and there, but I think people are just going to be all over it, aren't they? Really? He was the number 1 collector for Alaves last season. Don't think I will try it again. Yeah. What am I doing here? See if any of my other players have been listed. Oh, there's Victor, but he's been listed a little bit. Oh, has someone bought him? Or is that just a new card? Yeah, that's Solar Manza. I'm sure I bought something off him the other day. Mukoko, by the way, might be making his way to La Liga on loan. Hence why it's probably this little spike. I bet they've got a massive list now of max bits ready for every single smack. Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, Stefan, mate? What's going on? I think this guy only accepts ETH though. Yeah, and at the moment I haven't got the ETH. I think he makes sense to bring in early doors. I think he's a must-have actually. I also need a goalkeeper though. That has to be the first thing that I buy actually over Gundogan. I need another goalkeeper, and to make that decision whether I'm gonna buy a legal one or not, that has to be my next decision actually, thinking about it. Realistically, I'm not gonna buy him. I'm just gonna remove him because realistically I'm not gonna do that. And I'm not gonna buy an Oblak either. I'm not gonna buy a Sar because there's just no point in me going in the Prem. I'm not gonna buy Areola because there's too much risk around Saudi. What does that leave me? I think Romero is the best option. He is, but he's just a lot of fucking money. You going in season anytime soon? Well, my plan is to really like pick off a couple of tier threes here, tier twos here and there. If I pick up the right players from a classic point of view, and I don't know whether I'd sell them and strengthen classic. It depends on the competition within classic, or whether I would then just try and build up and have a little in season team. I'm not really sure. I just know that at the moment my focus is purely on classic, apart from in season challenger, because I've got the MLS pieces that could definitely compete there, for sure. Now, realistically, I'm not going to buy Bolker at that price. But he would be, if I had to pick one goalkeeper to actually sign, and irrespective of the league, it'd probably be him at the moment, just because I don't know, he's just topping stats everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. The goalkeepers don't. Am I missing some like a La Liga goalkeeper if I was to stay there? Surely I'm missing one that would just be a natural sort of go to. To only have one on my fucking list there, I've got to be missing somebody. That's like a decent price as well. I think somebody earlier, like this guy, Severa, which it looks at a decent price. What's his home fixtures like? Or is it just a balance? It's a balance, isn't it? Home and away, which is fine. You can play him home and away then. City, are you trying to go in season soon? Is that your plan? Unai Simone, so he's injured for a while, isn't he? Gazaniga, no. Ter Stegen, no. Way too expensive. He's the one that I'd buy. And I don't know whether to just buy him anyway. Because if he stays at Las Palmas, then I've got the number 2 in Sillerson. And if he leaves, then I should have the number 1 in Sillerson. And if he leaves, then he's going to go to Betis, I would have thought, right? Yeah, so our great keeper, Betis made a bid for him. But the bid's too low, isn't it? Valles is a risk, but is it not like a calculated risk? Is it not? So where else is he going to go if he leaves? Just checking here this. Yeah, so that's just confirming that shit. 4 hours ago. Well, the translation there. Valles gives Villarreal pumpkins. Does not consider other options and will continue to wait him for Real Betis. He's linked to France as well. Who's this guy? Is he credible? 501 followers, so maybe not. He's rejected, so literally an hour ago. This one seems a little bit more. Let's follow these guys. 60,000. He's rejected the chance to join Villarreal. He's got his heart set on Betis. Like in all seriousness, is that not? Is that not like a? Let me just lift this up a little bit because I'm actually gonna can sit properly. Is this not a? This would be a smart move, no? I know there's a little bit of risk in there as well, right? But with Betis, I've got Isco, I've got Fekir, and I want to get 4 nails because I think that it'd be a good little piece to have. And if Ballas signs, then he's going to be playing Champions Europa League or whatever it is. 27 years of age. He definitely wants Betis. He's already rejected Villarreal. If he moves to Marseille, what does that even look like? Even if he does go there, which I don't think he's going to. But if he does go there, then that's not too bad anyway, considering their new manager that I actually like. And if he stays, surely he would replace Silerson, right? I don't know. What do you think, boys? From how much is he? £152. Basically, everything that I've got in my account right now. I just think I don't know. I'm going to put him on the watch list because I think if I'm staying in La Liga, he's the goalkeeper that I'm going to get, especially if he's that adamant that he's going to stick around and wait for Betis. That would make sense for me to do that, I think. All right, boys. I think that's going to be me for this evening. Thank you for joining. Couple of hour streams tonight. We didn't actually solve anything because 50% was, do I sell Messi and pick up a Griezmann? And 50% was La Liga only or champion with Syria and Ligue 1. So thank you for all of the help. And thank you for none of the help. But no, it's been nice, boys. I will do a video soon. Cheers for watching. Cheers for tuning in. Have a good evening. Have a good night. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Take care.